very nice.
Welcome back. It's so
Welcome back. She was one of music's brightest stars who quickly became one of the most famous and celebrated female singer-songwriters in history.
Now, the story of Amy Winehouse's tragic short life is being brought to the big screen in a new movie, Back to Black.
We are joined by actress Marisa Abela, taking on the daunting task of playing Amy in the film. Let's take a look.
I want people to hear my voice and just forget their troubles. You gotta remember, I ain't no Spice Girl.
Amy Whinehouse.
We only said goodbye with words. I died 100 times. You go. I want to be remembered for just being me.
So Back to Black is out in UK cinemas this Friday, and Marisa Abela, who plays Amy, joins us now. Hey!
Hi, Val. It's so good to see you.
Firstly,
Thank
congratulations. We've both seen it and we both love it.
We loved it. I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again. It was that good.
Thank you.
And you were so good. But, I mean, what was it like auditioning for the role? Did you really want it? And when you got it, how did that feel?
It was weird, actually. I mean, it wasn't one of those jobs where I was like, I have to get this, even though it was sort of objectively probably the biggest thing I'd ever auditioned for, because it's not the kind of part that you want if you're not gonna do a good job. Like, I wanted to really make sure that I was the best person for them to play this part if I was gonna get it, because you just don't want to be that exposed if it's not right, you know?
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research even before auditioning, just into, you know, I felt I wanted to find Amy, the girl, the person, because you can't really play an icon, you know? You have to play a human being.
Who is she?
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
she about?
Yeah.
If I'm honest, that's what I love about the film. It's about her addiction to love as much as anything else.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And just how she goes through those stages of her life.
Yeah.
But the love, and specifically the love for Blake and the love for music, are the two great sort of love affairs. And I suppose the two great three great love
Yeah,
affairs
I think that what I found in you know, in a lot of the research that I was doing was that she had this sort of insatiable appetite for a lot of things in life, whether it was like music and those references, or love, or a dependency on whether it's relationships or other things, like. But there was this appetite that was just completely like a well that she could just constantly feed. But the incredible thing about Amy is that her capacity to turn those experiences and her relationship to, you know, other people or her music into this art that we now all get to enjoy is, I mean, it's so singular to have a talent like that, with a voice like that, but also, you know, she's a poet, a songwriter. All of those songs are her own. And I think it's one of the amazing things about our film is you watch her, you know, write these songs and the experiences that formed the album, especially Back to Black.
I heard that you actually moved to Camden at the time. How did you find that?
It was great. I mean, you know, to be honest, I had flatmates when I booked the job.
Yeah.
So I was like, we were irritating each other. I was like learning to play guitar and they were watching their whatever. And so I knew I had to have my own space. So then when I knew I had to move, Camden seemed like the obvious place to be.
Makes sense.
And also it was great, you know, it meant I could go to the Good Mixer at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday afternoon and watch people play pool and see what that felt like and really get a sense of a place that's not, you know, you go to Camden and you go to Camden Market or whatever, and it's very different to living there and really getting a sense of the community and the people that choose to spend all of their time in Camden.
She really embodied that. And, you know, I was there for 12 years, and she really embodied Camden. And you see, I mean, literally, I was there last night, and she, you know, there's a big mural of her out just under the bridge, and you know, she was everything. That was sort of kind of her life around there, wasn't it? It was important for you as well to play her and not mimic her, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I knew that it had to be recognisable as Amy and distinguishable as the person that we all know. She has such an iconic look and an iconic sound, but in a way, the most overwhelming thing to me as an actor was her magic, you know, her soul. And it was that thing that I really wanted. I want people to go to the cinema and feel her.
Yeah.
And I was trying to sort of find what it was in myself, I guess, that I could connect to about her that made that sort of soulfulness come alive.
It's unbelievable what you managed to achieve, to be fair. You met her family as well, didn't you? How did that go, and what did they ask you to do?
I mean, I think, you know, it was important to me to be respectful of all parts of Amy's life, and, you know, tragically, what I found when I, you know, met Amy's family were just people that were grieving, you know? And I wanted to be just sensitive and also show them that, like, my only intention in this job was to, you know, was to bring her legacy back to her music and to make people remember how talented an artist she was and just enjoy being in her orbit again for 2 hours. And I think that they were really excited by that. But yeah, like I said, it's sensitive for them, and it just required sort of being gentle and respectful.
Did they visit set at all, or do you...
They did, yeah. They came. There was one day that they came, and yeah, I remember Janice said to me, you know, I can't believe all these people are here for my naughty Amy.
Oh.
And you know, that's what it is, and I think that's what our film really represents, is that girl. You know, part of the reason that everyone fell in love with her in the first place was because, like, where did she come from? This girl from North London who had that voice and all those things to say, and yeah, I think that you could really feel that.
But I think what most people loved about her was she wasn't perfect, and so she was a mirror up to all of us in many ways. But she had this incredible, because, you know, you can fall in love with music, but to fall in love with the artist, you have to fall in love with the person. And she had this incredible empathy about her.
Yeah.
That also reminds me of Shane McGowan as well, because she just always had time for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
And she, you know, in her rise. I remember when Frank came out, the first album, and everyone was like, she's really good. And then suddenly, Back to Black. And we were lucky enough to give her one of her first sessions at Radio 2. And it was, I can count, it was her and Adele, the only two artists, but the whole building stood still.
Really?
And people were up. Literally, I looked up from the microphone, you can just see the whole place is crammed full of people, and normally it'd be an engineer and a producer, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost more than the music, I think, isn't it? And I think you captured that empathetic side to her so well.
Thank you. Well, I think that's, for me, I mean, people often talk about the tragedy within her story, and of course, with hindsight, we know that there's lots of tragedy there. But for me, one of the more heartbreaking things is that part of the thing that made her who she was this strong sense of normality. She craved normality in her life and relationships that felt authentic and real, and you can really hear that in the music. And because people responded to that authenticity so well and that recognizability so well, she became sort of overwhelmingly famous, and her ability to maintain authentic connections to Camden, to her family, to her friends, it becomes harder and harder the more exposed
It was never about money, was it, for her?
No. I think for her it was always about the art of the music, was about the art of the thing. And you know, she said, and I think there's nothing wrong with ambition. I think, you know, she said she wanted people to remember her as one of the great jazz singers of all time, and I think that, you know, they will. But I think, like, famous in terms of being hounded was not what she was interested in.
No,
you absolutely embodied her fully, like the look, the voice. How did you research into her? Did you just watch loads of videos? What did you do?
I think I watched everything that there is to see about her, and I listened to also lots of radio interviews. That was really helpful for the voice. But also, you know, I worked with a singing teacher and a movement teacher, and I booked the job about 4 months before we started filming, and it was really, you can kind of split it into two camps, I think. There's the physical training and the technical stuff to make it distinguishable as a real person, but then there's the work that you'd always do as an actor, which is like, what does Amy want from her life?
Yeah.
How does she connect? How does she love Blake? How does she love her family? How does she express herself? And it's kind of the duality of those two things that makes someone make sense, I think.
Your voice is incredible, by the way, because it is your voice on the film as well.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Back to Black in cinemas tomorrow, Marisa. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
All right.